What's up, y'all? This is a fun and exciting video to make because our company, Elevated Tech, has applied to over 1 million jobs for our clients since the beginning of 2024, which is a crazy number, but let's break down the math. 170 clients averaging 3 months with us of us running their job search and 2,000 applications per month for those clients is 1,020,000 remote jobs we've applied to for our clients. So in this video, our team has learned, I want to break down for you the top 10 lessons in helping over 170 professionals from Meta, Netflix, Airbnb, Google, EXPN, Accenture, and more build systems to land remote jobs very consistently, grow their remote income, and create the financial future they want for themselves. So we're going to dive into that. Like I said, my name's Delaney William. If you're new here, we're all about helping people thrive, not just survive during this crazy AI transformation. So if that's you, if you want to learn strategies to grow your remote income, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for our weekly videos. Now, let's jump into the content. So yes, I'm going to break down for you the top 10 lessons we've learned applying to over 1 million jobs in the last year for our clients, which is an unfathomable number even for me. But before we do, I want to show you a few success stories so you know I'm not totally full of crap. So you can head over to this page on our website. So this is Jason. He came to us struggling in his job search, could not get an interview to save his life. We started applying to 2,000 jobs per month for him. We redid his resume, redid his LinkedIn. We helped him with his interview prep, and he landed a 6-figure client success job in under 90 days. Same with Nathan. He is in the data analyst field. He's job stacked before, but he just wanted someone to do the work for him. He didn't want to have to stress about applying to jobs. We hit the crazy scale for him. He crushed the interviews, and he also landed his next 6-figure data analyst role within 90 days. And we have many, many, many other success stories just like this. So let's dig into the top 10 strategies that allowed them to land their 6-figure remote job in under 90 days. Let's do it. The first lesson is that the job market is unrecognizable from even just 2 years ago. 500 people are applying to nearly every job. I posted a job for Career Coach and we got 500 applicants in 24 hours. It's insane. It's so crazy. There's so much competitive demand. These new companies like ours are coming on the scene that are just really overwhelming, and strategies are just insane. So for the average person who doesn't understand the modern job market, I just want you to know it's not your fault. You're not a low value person. You just got to learn how to play the game. Again, like I mentioned, all those people came to us from all these really impressive companies and they couldn't even land an interview, even though they have Meta, Netflix, Airbnb on their resume. It's just that crazy competitive. And for the other reasons I'll describe here, it makes sense why it is so drastically different. 2, experience alone is not enough to get you a job. A few caveats to that, right? If you happen to network your way into a job, that can work. There are plenty of strategies to get a job. We found the most consistent way to get people jobs is actually to play the modern job market game to the highest degree possible. By that, I mean applying to jobs on job boards and using more traditional methods to get your role outside of just networking. Having experience is not going to get you the job. We will break that down in a little bit here, but again, this is just more backstory, foundational stuff for you to understand. It has so much more to do with how things are formatted. Do you have the right keywords? And I don't want to foreshadow too much because these are all individual points that I want to break down for you in this video. Number 3 is the algorithm gap. This is something we see for all these clients. They come to us, they have really impressive backgrounds, but they can't get an interview. And it's because of the algorithm gap. And that's these different platforms, LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, internal hiring platforms. They all have this baked in software that prioritizes candidates, pages 1, 2, 3, up to 30 of these 500 applicants on who's the highest likelihood of fit, right? If you think about these platforms, they want to make sure the recruiters have the easiest experience possible. So they're going to put people at the front of the list who seem like good candidates. And the way that's done is through an algorithm that at a very high level compares the job posting to your resume and decides, hey, is this person a good fit or not? So the first few points that I made, experience alone is not enough. It's because of this thing called the algorithm gap, which means just because you have this impressive experience, if it's not worded properly, if the quantification isn't correct, if the formatting is incorrect, if your resume isn't the right page length, all those things can get you automatically disqualified, which is really unfortunate. But it's basically this game of Tinder that the top couple percent take home all the glory and the bottom 95% get nothing because it's the slightest yellow flag people swipe left and they reject. They only want the green flags. And that's the reality of it. 4, and this is probably the biggest thing that we've stumbled upon, is job title alignment. Because of the algorithm gap and this concept of the job posting and the resume need to be aligned, the best way to predict that at scale is to pick one job title, optimize your resume around that job title, optimize your LinkedIn around that job title. If you do it correctly, rank in the top 3 to 5% of candidates, be more likely to show up on page 1, 2, or 3 consistently time and time again. So if you can do that, if you can have a really potent resume LinkedIn alignment to a specific job title and also play the volume game, meaning you pick the right job title, it's one that has 1,000, 2,000 postings monthly, not 100 or 200 monthly, which you'd be surprised. A great example of that is picking product owner versus product manager, which are synonymous, but way more people call it product manager, or way more people hire product managers. If you could be a top 5% fit for a product manager or product owner, you would basically 10x your opportunity if you pick the bigger field of work. Small example, but job title alignment is one of the biggest nails in the coffin. People who mess it up are going to get no results, and just that one small shift. Literally, that example I gave you is a real client, Jamila. We landed her 167K remote product manager job. Literally, the only tweak we made was pivoting her job title strategy, and it unlocked so much interview momentum for her. 5 is keyword optimization. I've alluded to it in the previous steps, but this is making sure that for the job title you're going after, you have all the right keywords in your resume. That might be skills, that might be tools. It's everything you need for the algorithm to be like, yep, this person's probably a good fit for this role. And there's some really great strategies on how to do that. But again, if you don't have the right keywords and you haven't dialed your keyword optimization, and please don't just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, what are the top 50 keywords for this thing? Like, the algorithms are smart enough to know what's just ChatGPT generated content, and it can flag for that. So make sure you have a very nuanced strategy and you're not just outsourcing it to a simple AI query. Number 6, which is the ChatGPT trap. And I did allude to this as it relates to the keyword optimization, but it applies to everything on your resume, that these algorithms are smart enough to know what general basic ChatGPT written content looks like. ChatGPT is a generalized tool. So just because you're like, hey, write me a good resume for blah, blah, blah. Trust me, I've written thousands of resumes. It doesn't do a good job unless you know exactly how to prompt it and you use it as a support tool, not a crutch. The difference is you're not just saying, oh, yeah, that's a good resume. You have to really know how to query it. You have to really know what an amazing resume looks like. And if you don't know how to ask those very nuanced questions or structure the resume in the right way, not only will people probably realize it was written by ChatGPT and reject you, or it'll just be so vanilla that people don't really care. So the ChatGPT trap is something you absolutely have to avoid. 7 is impact. You could have all the right keywords, the job title strategy can be dialed, but there's 500 candidates and people only want to talk to the people that are going to add a serious ROI to their company. And also, recruiters have TikTok brain. They're not actually going to read every line on their resume. They're going to spend 5 seconds just absorbing it with their eyes, and you have to pull them in. Just like good marketing content hooks you in and makes you want to read more, you have to think like a marketer in how you write your resume. There are plenty of really epic strategies, but you have to appeal to their lizard brain, their unconscious brain. They actually will even slow down and acknowledge you and be willing to read your resume. The best way to do that is figuring out how to showcase impact in a half a second, in 2 seconds, in 3 seconds. So they actually read and like, oh yeah, this person's actually qualified. 8 is LinkedIn alignment. You have to think about it from a client journey perspective. If you apply on LinkedIn, obviously everyone's going to look at your LinkedIn. Even if you submit a resume somewhere, they're going to compare the resume to your LinkedIn. So there has to be alignment. If you have a resume that says one thing and a LinkedIn that says another thing, and also if your LinkedIn isn't just super dialed, SEO's dialed, your headlines dialed, your keywords are dialed. LinkedIn is a completely different beast from resume, but it's the same concept of having all those keywords dialed. You're not likely going to get very many interviews because they have to see not only alignment, consistency, and feel a sense of curiosity when they see your LinkedIn that they actually want to talk to you versus the other 499 people who applied to that job. 9 is application volume. So you did all those other 8 things correctly, but if you're only getting out 50 applications a week, a couple hundred a month, we apply to so many jobs for so many really impressive people. And because it's so crazy competitive, an average response rate is still only about 1%. So if we apply to 100 jobs, we'll get an interview for one of them because it's just so crazy competitive. It might be higher, but we like to set the bar low at 1%. The only thing we can really control there is the volume of applications. If we get out 2,000 applications per month for people and get a 1% response rate, that's 20 interviews a month. A little higher than 1%, literally drowning in interviews, which is really cool. Control your application volume. You can work with a company like us to just do your applications for you, or you can build a system for yourself. You probably have to go hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines. You have to figure out some automation or something, but you need to get the application volume out. So if you think about 1% rule, for every 100 applications out, I'll get 1 interview. If you just own that and say, cool, let me just lever this up. How can I get it done? You got to get the application volume up. And 10 is unique differentiation. It's going back to the Tinder concept. There are so many candidates for every role that even if you're super qualified, one of the best things you can do is have some unique differentiation. It might be a startup you worked on. It might be some volunteer experience. It might be that you actually were just able to create a personal connection by networking with someone at that company. And the best way to do that is to really free yourself up. So this really goes back to the last step, which is the application volume. If you can systematize your application volume so you don't have to spend 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day applying to jobs, you can do more unique differentiation. For me, I started an industry-specific podcast. It got almost no views, but I had people from all those huge companies that I mentioned earlier, Meta, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, whatever. I had these people on my podcast and I put it on my portfolio and on my resume, and it was just curiosity factor and it generated a lot of interest. So you don't have to go do that, but my encouragement is think in systems mindset. How do you automate and outsource the super low value stuff like the actual applying that anyone could do, that a computer program could do, or a person in the Philippines could do for a few dollars an hour, and get more of that time back to like what would happen if you had spent the last 2 months 3 to 4 hours a day working on your portfolio or networking rather than just applying, and exponentially expand that over months. Like you're in a completely different place. So unique differentiation is super, super, super important. In this video, we just covered the top 10 lessons I've learned, my company, my team has learned, applying to over 1 million jobs for our clients since the beginning of 2024, helped transform so many lives, and hopefully we can help transform yours as well. Whether you take this and go, to implement it on your own. We wish you the best of luck. If you're a corporate professional, you have at least 2 years of corporate work experience, you just want someone to run your job search for you and support you in not only landing your job, but potentially even stacking remote jobs, we do offer a 90-day placement guarantee for people who are a mutual fit. If that's of interest to you, click the link below. You can book a call and chat with our team. We'll see you in the next video.